This is the homemade pool filter I made for our pool. I used a sump pump, some PVC pipe and some fittings, a paper tray and filter. So the sump pump brings the water up, turns the corner, goes in the T-fitting and drops most of the water into the filter. And then there's a diverter that keeps going forward, and it pushes the extra water off into the pool, and it pushes the pool water around like in a whirlpool, so it circulates the water. So this helps to get any debris suspended in the water column so that it can be pulled into the sump pump and then filtered. It does tend to make a whirlpool in the middle. For some of the larger items, you can't really see it, but there's some larger items, pieces of dirt down in there, which I just take my foot, kind of kick it around, and I have to take my skimmer and skim it off. So it doesn't get 100% of the dirt out of here, but it gets 95% of it out, which isn't too bad for a homemade pump. So that's what it looks like, just a couple of buckets, some little bungee cords holding that filter in. I put it together yesterday, but I refined it a bit today, and now it's working primo. So there's the whole ensemble, kind of an aerial view. So the sump pump brings the water up, drops most of it into the filter, and this T-fitting right here, that filter fabric stuff. So I have a coarse, medium, and a fine filter, and the overflow goes over the sides of this tray and to the bottom. I have 9 holes drilled in the bottom of that to keep the water going through it. The excess water gets diverted down that diagonal pipe, pushes the water around the pool, and it goes around like this, circulates through the pool, stirs up any sediment, gets it in, suspended in the water so that the sump pump can pull it in. So with the exception of this small bit of dirt in the middle, it's working really good. It didn't cost me a dime. The ones on the internet, the cheapies, they're all junk. The most expensive good small pump is about $300. So if I was to buy a sump pump, this would be about a $100 pump. So not too shabby. And I got the wire just hanging on this bungee cord just to keep it up off the ground. And this is a ground fault protector, so if there's any short circuit, this will shut the power off. So that's a safety feature. I still wouldn't get in a pool with the pump running. There's a handle on this pump. I can just pull this whole thing out in about 30 seconds, and we go swimming. So that's the pool, and that's the filter. Thank you, Gina, Halden, Christy, and Jamie, for getting us this nice pool. My next plan is to get some kind of the thing to test the water to make sure we have the right chlorine. We've been using bleach, so half a cup of bleach every 3-4 days, and this will help circulate that. So it does smell like a pool here. We got our homemade skimmer. This is just a sewing hoop with a piece of screen in it, so I just scoop it through the water and get any yuckies out, and I just bang it against the pole to knock it off the skimmer. We got a perimeter fence so no little kids can get in here, so it's open right now. There's our wash bucket for our feet and a little table for our phones. So this piece of snow fence is open right now, but when we're not around, we close it. It prevents any curious kitties from getting in the pool. By code in Windsor, you need to have a 48-inch tall perimeter fence or barrier around your pool. And that's for pools that are 2 feet or deeper. So we're only 12 inches, but I'm making reasonable precautions to keep little kids from getting in this pool and drowning. So that's our setup, and we got a canopy tent over it to keep the sun from warming up the water, keeps it nice and cool. So we got a pretty nice setup. We have a motion light on the house, so as soon as we come out here, the light comes on, so you can see what we're doing. So this is a pretty good setup. Thanks again, Gina, Halden, Christy, and Jamie, and Calder and Porter, who probably had something to do with it too. Hopefully they'll be able to use the pool sometime. Okay, over and out.